No.
Okay, you catch up with him afterwards. That's great.
Sure? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gerard, please.
Hi, how are you?
Gerard.
I'm here about the costs that the very smallest of businesses have to pay when they want to start up with the City Council. I might have said that wrongly. I live and have done for 25 years in the centre of the city. And I recently, well, over the last year and a half, I've been dealing with the planning department, and it's at the encouragement of John Higgins, the senior planner there, that I'm coming here tonight. So I've lived in Kilmore Street for 25 years, and on the corner of my arrowhead-shaped building is a tiny little rental spot for a shop. It's ideal for a cafe, just a little hole in the wall. Over the last year and a half, I think I've had 8 different people come along, really excited with the potential of doing a cafe there, only to walk away with the costs they have to pay the City Council. And these have been, the last 4 have been all immigrants. So they're pretty stretched, but they're green shoot businesses and they want to have a crack. So this is their experience at the council. They, first of all, have to have a pre-planning meeting for $900. Then they're told that to get a resource consent, they'll need to pay a deposit of $4,000. It may be more or it may be less. And then they're told to get a planner to prepare their case, which may be $5,000 or $10,000. Now, 100% of these people have walked away for that reason. Now, I am wearing another hat. I make documentaries, and I, after the earthquakes, went to New Orleans. It was 5 years after Katrina. And I visited business startup ideas that were being encouraged by the state. And what they did there, or by the federal authorities or by the local authorities, what they did there was they advertised across America for green shoot businesses to come to New Orleans. We'll pay your business mentoring fees and you'll have no startup costs. And they went from being in the States for a fairly, they had a reputation for being old and staid and laid back. Maybe we would be seen like that by some parts of New Zealand. That changed hugely. So instead of doing what I think we might have done here, which is to invite large capitalist corporations into the heart of the city, where you had to have 6,000 square metres to do anything, what they did there was they went for the little guy and the future. We're locking them out. So John Higgins, the head of planning, he suggested that I come and tell you this. He seems to be pretty keen on some sort of system being engaged here, because we need young people. That's me.
Okay, so Tyler, and then Aaron, and then Tim.
Kia ora. Was it Gerard or Gerard?
You said Gerard, yeah.
Gerard. Thank you so much for that. It's a really good submission. I actually wanted to note that for staff around the importance of this, obviously, but just to get a wee memo on a little update on what the plans are, regs, etc.
Aaron.
Yeah, so obviously some of the legislation that's being followed is set down by government. Do you think that we should take your suggestions, or even if you give us a wee list of that example, that we take that to the Minister of Deregulation and say these are the problems for small startup businesses? And
I don't understand the legislation, Aaron. Would it have to be a nationally central government issue, would it?
Oh, well, I'm assuming stuff like most of the planning rules are laid out by government and then councils.
So there's no potential for the City Council to offer
really,
incentives for people to come here?
Well, we could go to the Minister and ask for, hey, can we have an exemption to allow people to do... That could be one way that the Minister could then look at, does cutting that red tape work? Because experiment in one city, and then if it works, spread it everywhere else, rather than doing blanket changes across the country.
I've got 23 seconds. I've got no interest in other cities doing this.
Fair enough. Okay. Tim.
Yeah, look, the pre-planning meeting, obviously I've fallen behind the times because I thought the first one was free.
It was $899, Tim.
Man, that's better than lawyers, isn't it?
Oh, it's hugely a rip-off.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
And everyone has walked away. And by the way, I'm still to rent the bloody building.
yeah, well,
You know.
well, I'd walk away with $900 too.
Yeah, but that's to tell you that you need $4,000 deposit that night.
Or just the deposit for the resource
And
consent.
it could be more, and it could be less, is what they could tell
5
you.
to 10k for a plan.
And you could still fail.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, there's no guarantees at all. It's completely, you're locked out of.
I should have been a planner. or
That
a
said, the staff there were great, and they were so sympathetic, and they all agreed that the rules made it too tough.
lawyer. Well, we've made a note of it. Thank you so much.
Point
That's
taken,
a
mate. Yeah, good. Thank
Thank
you very
you. Cheers.
much. Joe, please.